evening. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your Spider ETF stock market wrap-up. And tonight is September 5th, Thursday, 2024. All right, Broadcom came out. Looked to me very good numbers and all, but the forward guidance just not there the way that the trade wants. This market is built so much into AI that it almost appears no matter what a company says, even if they bounce the day of earnings, the market comes back and is punishing. Do you know why? We're taking some of that PE out of the market. That's it. We're coming up from these valuations and we're ratcheting down a bit. This, please understand, you're in the weak time of the year. If you go to my financial market video, and you take a look at the beginning when I show you on the weekly closes of the S&P. Take a look at what last September through October did. Does history have to repeat itself? No. But if you go back to World War II, you heard me, World War II. I was born after that, by the way. Not long after, but afterwards. Market has a tendency to break hard at this time of the year. Embrace it. Don't fight it. Embrace it. Let the market sink back. You get your list of what you might want to own, where you want to own it. You don't have to be the first guy on the block in the market. Actually, I like to be towards the tail end. I don't mind paying up if I think things are going to keep going. Example, NVIDIA, come on. I got bullish finally at $458. But you did well because double that money, we were taking money off the table. And remember, now it's got a 10-for-1 split. So this market has come back to 107.21. I can live with that. You know, I see the 100 level as good. Do I think NVIDIA's doesn't have value? Not at all. Do I think the stock can go back into the 130s, 140s? Yes. But I think it'll be towards the latter part of the year. I think right now you don't want to fight momentum. Now, tomorrow's an important day. Why? Number one, it's the last day you're going to see me probably because I'll do this video at the end of the day in the weekly charts, and then you won't see me till Monday morning. But in between all that time, my sale, back 3 months special, never had it, is going to end. So let's assume that you are a Spider ETF trader. I would go right here, the $48. 3 months of my morning video, $10. Do you go for Starbucks during the week? Get a coffee, Pete's, whatever it is. How many you get? You're going to spend a lot more than this for 3 months of videos. Each month's 22 videos, about 15 minutes long. I cover very specifics what to do, and you get to write me. Let's assume you want me to do an analysis for you on a chart. I want to do it. So I create a video just for you, and I send it on to you. If you like the futures with that, you can get a combo package right through here. So these are the prices. Big discounts all the way through. If you get the futures with the writing and everything I do, 99 instead of 180, and 48 for, not there, 32. Move your cursor to the top. That's how you get there. Or I send out emails if you're on my email list. Let's assume you're not on the list and you can't do that. Call my staff in the morning. They'll get you all set up. 866-973-2077. Okay. So tomorrow is the day. And I'm not going to call it D-Day, but it's an important day. I'm not talking the war talk there. And let's come to where I want you to be here. There we are. We're going to get the August non-farm payrolls. They're looking for 160,000. They got 114 last month. Remember, we had revisions. Do you remember all that? August is revision time for prior months, I think up through April. So now we're going to get another revision late at the end of January, February, but they're looking for 160,000, not 114. So to me, the 114 is a number that could get the Fed to go to 50 basis points. To me, the 160 is a number that keeps you at 25 basis points. Now, we had the JOLTS number this week. You lost 455,000 job openings, approximately. Today, you had ADP number. They came out, and where they're at, I think they lost 40-some-odd thousand number of jobs. Challenger Gray went up for the amount of corporate layoffs that are scheduled for the month by 193%. So people are coming down, the job offerings aren't there, and the question is, when do we see that in the non-farm payroll number, and what number? I don't want to use the word spook, but I want to use the word, what number tells the Fed, let's get ahead of the curve, not let's just begin the cuts. And I would think it's anything near 114. Certainly if you saw the unemployment rate, possibly numbers come out in between there, and that goes to 4.4 over the 4.3. That might be another factor, and they're expecting the wage gains to be about up 0.3% month over month. All right. So now we come to the charts themselves, and where are we? Well, Tesla's had a good 2 days. It's seeing bids. I think part of it had to do out in Brazil, believe it or not, when Elon decided not to fight with the government there, and I think that was a very smart move on his part. I'm noticing that President Trump, if he wins, he wants Elon Musk, not as though Elon has nothing to do, I guess, to do an audit with him, be on a committee that's going to audit the federal government. If you do a true audit, you got to believe that the people doing it, Mr. President, are going to be honest. They won't be. They want to keep jobs. There's so much we know overage paid. Remember when we used to talk how much is a toilet cost at the Pentagon, things of that nature. It's still going on. It just gets swept under with everything else. I like the idea. The market's now looking at the differences in the tax appeal of Trump versus Harris. So to counter the 28% now capital gains tax, remember it was going to be way up, now it's dropping down, and Ms. Harris also has that it's got to be, you have income over a certain level and other things, but let's call it 28% just for the sake of discussion. Trump counters that from a 21% current rate to 15%. Number one, it's pie in the sky for both. You got to assume that you're going to get a Congress that'll work with you. We've already seen how that goes. Even when you win both chambers, one side can really stymie things up. So you got to be very, very careful. So this all sounds interesting. Goldman's already said that if tax rates go up to where VP Harris wants it to go, that they see about a 5% cut to corporate earnings. So gives you an idea where that's at. BND obviously going to get a bid on a market like that. We've had a little bit of a bounce back in the gold market. Copper's still under the pressure. Silver down. Microsoft in interesting areas. You know, the 400 level's very interested in that. Uranium can't catch a bid. So when we look at BND, these are new highs on the move as the market is anticipating cut, 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 cut. So on pullbacks in this market, it's probably the opportunity to consider long positions. The pattern is still one, unfortunately, of a lower low and a higher high. Now, when we got this correction in the market that I'm showing you, all that did is carry you down to the 18-day average. So often in these videos, you'll hear me say, markets, when they're up, and this was an up and away market, when they correct often, not all the time, but often, if the swing line turns down, they try to go back to an 18-day average and from there figure out what to do. Well, it sort of seems it figured it out and the market wants to go higher. The resistance, ever notice why the markets stop at certain numbers? Bollinger Bands often stop a market because 95% of the time the market will stay within the bands. Now eventually to break out of sideways action, and you could argue to a degree that's somewhat sideways action, you have to break out of the band. We'll see if it does anything tomorrow. But you're at a resistance point. Don't you ignore that. When we come over to momentum, you're overbought. So I think smart money today, and you're going to think I'm crazy, I think they took money off against the upper Bollinger Band in an overbought market. You can think all you want in the market, but if you do the same things over and over, you have a better chance, I've learned, than saying this time is different. It rarely is. In Rivian, okay, we're fighting a battle here at the 18-day average. I've been hoping you'd get to 1268, 1262. I haven't thrown my hopes out. I think the market can still do that. It's obviously wants to develop sideways action, but if the whole market lets go, you got to be a bit cautious right here. And CrowdStrike, I think I nailed this for you. I said the market's going to give some of this up. Too much of a comeback. I doubt you're going much under 245. You can see how the market came in down there. As I said, Broadcom today, their earnings numbers, everything looked good to me, but the market's going to get punished. It's never going to be good enough in this market. You can see how uranium is fighting down here against these numbers. Got to be careful. This is your recent low. You take that out, you get a new leg to the downside. So you're at a very important juncture there. In Dell, sideways action, not able to go anywhere. Notice how the market is fighting at the 200-day average in the gray and the red, the 18. The pattern is a higher high, lower low. Momentum's down, bias down, but it's not trending. A real difficult chart pattern. Then we get to Linn, and like I said, I thought you were going to get this and the home builder ETF to come back to the 18-day average in front of what interest rates are going to do, and it's just what the markets have done. Here's your XHB, the home builder ETF. It's bearish going into the report. If the market gets underneath yesterday's low, and that low was 111, what was it, 111.48. If it gets under that, you open the door for down here. Now, why, I don't know, but that's the chart action. You then have to go back and have an outside day up to negate that tomorrow if you're looking at just one day. I was looking for a pullback in financials. You lost the bullish embedded reading. You could be coming back here to 44.24. The only time you could regain the reading where both numbers are over 80 and it matters is the day after it's lost. So on Friday, if you're not with both numbers over 80, the odds are exceptionally strong here. But the way to play it is, the way I teach it, you come out in the aftermarket or at the close of the business and you say, no, I'll wait and see if I want to reestablish, because often you could be met with gaps in the market to the downside. XLI, bearish signal for the first time. So we've had this rally, and you have heard me say here repeatedly, I don't get it, other than they're anticipating, because everything in the manufacturing sector stinks. And now you got a full-fledged sell signal. I think the bears are going to go short into the report here. Stops over that high to see if you're going to come down and challenge that level. Wouldn't surprise me. In the energy sector, well, China's in terrible shape. The U.S.'s talk is, are we going into a recession if the labor market, the bastion of all our support, is tipping over? Why do you want to own energy in that scenario? You are under the Bollinger Band. That is a spot that shorts often cover, but you have narrow bands here. Got to be careful. When they narrow up is when the market can run to the upside or downside as they try to break away. See how it worked here? Once it latched on, you can see the move up. Well, here it's latching on. It's not quite as narrow as you were here, as pronounced, but it's that pattern. In the gold market, if gold's going to be the safe haven, wherever the Bollinger Band is, could be the upside magnet, you throw the market into a bit of a quandary if you get under the lows right back over here of 228.52. I think you're going to see traders just looking at the market and see what the action is. I'm not seeing a buy or a sell signal yet come alive. Let me get back to silver. I just hit one too many. I think the pros are selling silver. Stops over that high, looking for 25.01. Copper market in a bearish trend, could go to 39.26, the Bollinger Band, for the first major support. I thought you'd hold better here. You obviously gave it all up, and for the past 2 days couldn't get through it. Why do you want to own copper if the economy's sinking? Remember, that's the canary in the mine. You get demand for copper as the manufacturing industry's picking up. Are we seeing that when we looked at the ETF? I don't think so. Bonds and notes, you're at the upper Bollinger Band, overbought. I wouldn't be surprised if in this and BND, traders are taking some money off the table and say, let's see how those numbers come out. It's going to be an important morning. And the algorithms are going to take over the trading. You know that at 7:30 in the stock indices. You'll see the what do we call it? The aftermarket go crazy in some of this other stuff. Look at how you came up in the dollar. Remember I talk about bear market rallies? You were oversold, lost the embedded, actually embedded, lost the embedded reading, went right to the 18-day average, and now you're waiting for a fresh signal. I think it's going to be on the downside while the euro's on the upside. I need a better chart pattern. Just because you come there when you got the swing line down isn't reason to do it, but I'm not bearish. I'm bullish the euro, bearish the dollar overall. So again, going to be exciting day. Take advantage. You get to see the morning video when I put out all this tomorrow. Go to iraepstein.com. No, that's not what you do. You move your cursor right here, and you go with the icon to this page. This isn't on the website. We've never done a 3-month special, so we create it outside of the website, or call my staff in the morning to get signed up and buy it, or go into your mail. If you know you've gotten mailings from me, you got one for this sale probably yesterday. I didn't send any out today. I will tomorrow. You have a good evening. Talk to you tomorrow.